on to this, folks. It's the EFL League 2 Playoff semi-finals. It's those illustrious second legs who, of course, will take full advantage and get themselves through to a Wembley date. We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today it's the EFL League 2 Playoffs. It's the second legs, and we're coming at you in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe and you want to subscribe for League 2, Babin Rovers, World Football. We're going to all here under one rooski. It is Advantage, Walsall, and also Wimbledon coming at you after the first legs. Both sides were on the road last time, but can they take that form into the home matches? Or will they pressure them out to them? Will they quake? Will they handle it? We'll take a little look in just a second. Of course, if you know where you've been, hit the old subscribe and a big shout out to the members and the Patreons. You know who you are. So what we're going to do now, though, of course, is look forward to those games. But, of course, before that, recapping my predictions in those semi-finals. So sit back, hold on, and let's get into it then, shall we? It is this, guys. We are getting excited as, of course, Wembley is just around the corner. But before all that, let's recap what went down in those semi-final first legs. Of course, kicking all off with Chesterfield against Walsall. I went with a 2-0 win. I backed Chesterfield on this one. But no, the Spy Rights let me down. Goodness gracious me. It was a 2-0 win the other way. That's right. Walsall taking that end-of-season win in the final league game of the season into this. And, of course, keeping the tails up as they try to regain that form that blew the league apart. They were running away with it until it all went wrong. Meanwhile, in the other game, Notts County against Wimbledon ended up with a 1-0 win for the Dons. That's right. I went with the draw, but the red card for Notts County kind of loosened the grip a little bit and gave full advantage to Wimbledon heading into the second leg at Plough Lane. So we'll get into all of that in just a second. Of course, to a quick reminder that we do have a prediction league going on. I'm not giving you an update right here, right now. That one's coming. It's coming in the grand season, end of season spectacular, which we will announce the winner in quick time. But just to let you know, there's still going to be a couple points on the offering right here, right now. One more. There'll be 3 points left. 2 here, and of course 1 in the final. So make sure you check that out. But let's get into it. It is this. It all boils down to this. So, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? Well, let's get into it then, shall we? Kick it all off with Walsall against Chesterfield, coming at you on the 16th of May. I believe that is what that is. That's probably Thursday, something like that, but 16th of May. Coming at you right around the corner. Matt Sadler's boys finishing in 4th in the league, of course, after a really good old season, but ultimately kind of shit the bed towards the back end of it. They were flying high, number 1 spot, and they now drifted back into the 4th spot. And, of course, only and actually did that on the last day of the season just to... You know, Bradford City ousted them. Of course, lastminute.com, they were destined to make it into the automatics, but they were gasped at the last second. They have got 77 points, of course. That doesn't matter here now, though. It's all down to this. They played the last 6. They won back-to-back. And they're coming up against the Chesterfield side, who did finish 7th with 70 points. They're coming into this on the back of that defeat. They've got 67% form compared to Walsall's 50. They played 18 times now. 8 wins Walsall, 6 wins Chesterfield. There's been 4 draws between the two sides. Walsall have a 4-1 win on the record. They got 32 goals scored in those 18 games, 1.78 goals a game. Up against Chesterfield, who've got 6 wins, and just 2-0 win was the biggest. That 2-0 win would be enough to make this interesting, but it wouldn't be enough to win it outright. They've scored 24 goals in 18 matches, 1.33 goals a game. Now, coming into this, the last time that these two sides played at the Bescott, it was a 3-1 win for Walsall. That was in the regular season, of course, back in February. It was a 3-1 win for Walsall. Of course, prior to that, they did play at Chesterfield back in October. It was a 2-2 draw there, and Chesterfield also lost, of course, the last game, which was in Chesterfield, to put them in this bit of a position. So they've actually only won once, Chesterfield, in the last 6 against Walsall. If you roll back the calendar, though, let's try and find a win, something to optimise, something to get Chesterfield believing again. And I'm struggling myself to find what I can say. You know, they've got a couple of away wins. I think they've got, a handful in the last 3, but the last time they picked up an away win against Walsall was back in October 2015, so it's going to go about 10 years for that to happen. But remember that, so Chesterfield have been in non-league oblivion for a long time, so they haven't played many times to rectify that. But anyway, coming into this, Chesterfield's last away match, here we go, was a win. It was away to Accrington Stanley. In fact, they got back-to-back games now, unbeaten on the road. Meanwhile, Walsall's home form is not great. They've also just picked up the 1 draw at the last couple when they played, and they lost to Accrington Stanley at home. So that's a bit of a little bit spicy contingent for you there to munch on. The bookies odds on this one, I don't think we have odds because we're coming actually a little bit early doors for this one. But hey ho, away we go. It's all about my gut, and my gut says I'm going to back. Unfortunately, I'm going to back a Walsall victory on this one, which, regardless, a draw or win for Walsall will convince us, and of course they will go through. They will go through to the final with a convincing 4-1 aggregate scoreline to make them comfortably through And, of course, we'll wait the winner on the next one. Now, this one, I think the next game is a bit more on the fence, and it could go either way. So let's get into this one now and a crack at it then, shall we? Of course, it's coming at you. I think a day prior to this one. Let me see that. It's actually the day after. It's the 17th of May. Walsall come at you against Notts County. Come at you at Cherry Records Lane. That's right, Johnny Jackson's boys with that slender advantage. They're coming into finishing in 5th with 73 points. Back-to-back wins for them right here, right now. Up against the Notts County side, Stuart Maynard. They are 6th. They finished 6th with 72 points. Just 1 point separated these two sides in the league structure. They played 7 times in 2015. 6 wins for Wimbledon, just 1 win for Notts County. That doesn't give them much hope. But let me tell you about that in a minute. Of course, of the 7 times, Wimbledon have a 2-0 win on the record. They got 13 goals scored in those 7 games, 1.86 goals a game. Up against Notts County, who have a 1-0 win. They've only scored 4 goals in the 7 games, 0.57 goals a game on average. Not great. And they're coming into just 1 win in the last 6. Now, let's take a look at what went on over the past 12 months between these two sides. The last time they played at Wimbledon. So the last time these two sides played at Cherry Records Lane, it was a 2-0 win for Wimbledon, so a convincing win. And if they match that, guess what? They'll go through to the final. But Notts County did pick up a 1-0 win over Wimbledon this season, back in October 2024, but that was in their own backyard. But they're going to have to do this the most difficult way, and that is at Wimbledon, to see if they can get a win over them. They haven't won. They haven't won at Wimbledon in the span of at least 10 years, of course, with the most recent, or the most dated fixture on my record back in January 2016. Now, coming into this though, Notts County did pick up a 3-1 win when they were last time on the road. That was against Notts County. But coming into this, Notts County did pick up a 3-1 win when their last time on the road. They did beat Harrogate with a convincing scoreline. And Wimbledon's last home match was a loss, 2-0. Against Port Vale. So take those little bits of slivers of hope into this one and give yourselves a big old boost, a big old chance to get into this. Got slender odds here for this game and this game alone. The bookies are backing Wimbledon to win, and if that's the case, that is game, set, match. A win or a draw for Wimbledon will do just the tricks. So this is what I'm thinking. My gut's on the line here. No real hard end bookies odds for this. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win, which will be enough, unfortunately, to send the Dons through 2-0 on aggregate to set up a bit of a spice. It will set up an absolute cracking final, an on-merit final, with Walsall, who finished 4th, and Wimbledon, who finished 5th. I think realistically that's what you really want. You want the best of the rest to duke it out for that last spot. And I think we'll have ourselves a cracking League 2 final to see who will be playing League 1 football next season. So that's what I think. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below as we look forward to this League 2 semi-finals and, of course, the final itself at Wembley. But until then, subscribe, smash the like, catch you guys later. But until then, we are done.